This one is for the pork lovers out there. So first I'm going to keep it classic with one dish and chef it up with the next one. But first, I'm going to need that pork. Morning, sir.
Morning, Chief. How are you?
Good, good. How are you doing?
I'm blessed.
Yes, man. Well, I see you have some fresh pork here,
Yes,
so
no problem.
I hear you're the man to come to.
What did you just today?
So I want to get some pork shoulder for some geera, and then a slab of pork belly. I trust in you. You're the man with who's the pro with this, so I'll trust you with that one. Yeah, I'll take the belly. Yeah, I'm gonna fry it actually. Yeah, for geera size. Thank you, brother. You too, brother. Blessings. Yeah. So I have my pork shoulder and my pork belly, so it's time to go to the kitchen and start cooking. Pork lovers, this one is for you. Today we are doing geera pork stuffed fried bake, taking two Trinbagonian classics and marrying them. And if you ask me, I think that's a match made in heaven. So the first thing we're going to handle is the geera pork. So we have some pork shoulder and we need to flavor this up. So first off, we're going to start off with green seasoning. And here we have our Caribbean flavors green seasoning, because this is one of the best on the market right now. And we have a nice healthy serving of that seasoning there. And we're going to go in with some fresh garlic, because you cannot go wrong with garlic. We have some fresh ginger as well. We want some spice in that, so we're going to throw some hot sauce in here. I don't like my geera mild. And speaking of spice, we have some more spices to put in as well. So we're starting with flavor. And we're going to use a little bit more of that later on when we are going to parch that in the oil. And some Indie curry. And of course, you start off with some salt. I have a pimento in here, and I'm just going to get that in one time. So I'm going to cut that stem off. This time we don't have to be too finicky about the shape of it, because everything is going to meld together very well. There we go, and that goes right in. And now we mix. We want to massage this in very well and ensure that every single square inch of this pork will be bursting with flavor as it comes into contact with all the ingredients we have here. So geera pork is actually one of the earliest things I learned how to make very well. And I'm talking about when I was about 9-10 years old. So now that this is all coated in the marinade, we're going to leave it to marinate, ideally overnight, but if not, 1 hour should be fine. Let me wash up and then reset to get to the next part. So while the pork is marinating, I'm going to do my fried bake dough. And I'm using Lion Brand Fry Bake Mix because it makes life so easy. I don't have to measure things like baking soda, baking powder. All I need to do is add salt, sugar, water, and I'm done. Salt, sugar, roughly 1 tablespoon, and water. Make a well in the middle to start things off. And use a little less water at first and see if you need any more, just for safety. Lion Brand makes things very easy, and it's already coming together really nicely. Right, and this dough is just about ready, so I'm going to form it into a ball using the slap and roll technique. And you know it's ready because it's smooth on the outside. And now it's just to let it rest for 15 minutes. Now I'll clean up this station, let this rest, cover down, of course, and then it's time to tackle the pork. And it's time to get this geera pork going. So first things first, in a hot pan goes your oil. From there we want to toast some cumin seeds, because that's the way the flavor is coming from. And we're doing cumin in 2 ways this time. When the aroma starts to come out and you start to see it just change color a little bit, then we're going to add some more flavor boosters, and from there, when it's sizzling hot and we've parched the spices, then we're going to add the pork into there, and then it's an hour-long process after that point. So this is what we're looking for. We're getting some nice color on the inside, So we're gonna go in with some onions, basis of flavor. And you don't wanna put the garlic just yet, because garlic tends to burn faster than onions. So you wanna get a little bit of a toast on the onions as well when they start getting a little translucent, which will take roughly 1 to 2 minutes. And this pan is nice and hot, this Berlinger house pan that I'm using. So in goes the garlic, because the onion's already where I want it to be. Let's saute this garlic as well, release those aromas and the oils. All right, so we have a nice toast going on our aromatics here. And we're gonna add this ground cumin. And we're just gonna lightly parch it as well. And immediately the aromas are coming out. So we're gonna add some water to bloom this. And once it does, and it reduces back down to the consistency I wanted, then we're gonna add the pork. All right, so now the spices have reduced down to where we want it, so the pork goes in. There we go, get it in there. And you wanna make sure you coat the pork with all these nice spices that you took your time to bloom and come back down. And the reason why we bloom it is because for some people, the spices are too harsh on their stomach. So if you don't cook it properly, it'll make your stomach feel upset. So at this point, we are going to cover it and let the pork spring its own juices. Then we'll decide if we're gonna add any more water to that to then let it simmer. All right, so now we're gonna check, and yeah, this has sprung enough water. So we're gonna add just enough water to just cover it. Now that that is done, we're going to reduce this to a simmer and just let it cook until it is tender. So with that, our geera is done. So that comes off the fire. And now I'm going to start working on the fry bake. So I have some oil starting in my pan. We're going to do a shallow fry. So it's well rested. We're going to separate this into 3 bowls so that we could get 3 good size fried bakes. So I'm going to roll this out, because this is going to be filled in a little bit. So I see that my oil is steaming hot right now, smoking hot. So it's about time to prepare myself to stuff the bakes. And we're gonna start filling these up, and I have some water here just to moisten those edges so I could close these and make them secure so that they don't open up when I'm frying. And you don't want to overstuff it as well. Yes, we all like meat. Rice. Then what you do is you close it up, moisten the edges, a little bit of water. So you want to pinch the edges to just ensure that they completely close, because if this opens up on you while it's frying, it might be a bit of a disaster, and we don't want that. Because we're shallow frying, you may want to turn it on the sides as well, just to ensure that that side is also cooked all the way through and you're not biting into raw dough. Leave that alone so we can get working on the next one. And now that we are done frying all of them, it's time for the moment of truth. And by that I mean plating time. So all the way through, we have this nice geera pork. We're gonna finish this plate with some shaved cabbage and some freshness with a lime wedge. All right, so again, this is the marriage of 2 Trinbagonian classics, fried bake and geera pork. And of course, we have to pair it with one more, which is some good old Morby. And of course, the best Caribbean flavors. Give it a little stir. And this meal is just about complete. And that brings us to the end of this one. Stay tuned. Coming up next, it's Chef School. This should have been a thing all the time. This right here, that's what we're talking about.
Lotus, brings you quality ingredients to help your culinary adventures. Lotus all-purpose flour for all your baking needs. Lotus Baker's flour for breads, pizzas, roti and paos. Lotus cake flour for lighter cakes, muffins, biscuits and pastries. Lotus whole wheat flour for the health conscious wanting more fiber. Lotus cassava and wheat flour, an exceptional blend of natural cassava and wheat flour, adding a mild flavor to your baked goods. Create your good food moments today. Lotus, the confidence to create.
At Food Hall, we've reimagined shopping. From chef-prepared meals, ready to enjoy, to the freshest produce and all your grocery essentials. Every visit is designed with the customer's experience in mind, all while getting double points every single day. Food Hall, grocery made greater. Visit us today at Biarco Plaza.
Welcome to Chef School, and for this edition we are going to learn how to trim and clean pork belly so that we can do some fried pork. So the first thing you want to do is flip it on the meat side, and you'll see that there's a lot of fat, there's silver skin, so you just need to trim all of that. And what you need for this is a sharp knife. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have everything nice and dry. That's why I have this paper towel here. So you want to pat everything dry from all those juices and all those things that will make your life a little more difficult, and you don't need that. So we patting this dry, and once we pat this dry, it's time to start the butchery. So the skin is a little bit tough, so we're just going to slice right through it with your nice sharp knife. My knife is a Berlinger house knife that I got from my good friends at Excellent Stores. So now the skin is free from that side, I can now work on the excess fat and the silver skin. So you just want to take the edge of your knife and just gently go in the same direction as the grain of the meat, because you're trying not to go against the grain in this case, because you just want to trim away the excess fat and all these things that you don't really want in your meal. The silver skin is also something that is not quite edible. Even when it's cooked, it's very chewy and you don't want that, so you want to, again, just go gently with your knife. If you look closely, and it peels away from the meat. And again, the excess fat on the end there, you want to trim off. So you're going to continue this for the entire piece you're working with until we have a nice, lean, trimmed piece of pork belly. The nice thing about pork belly is that skin side. If you know how to do it, you can get the skin to crisp up really well, but it really needs taking care because you need to keep the skin very dry throughout the whole process. Water is not your friend. Hence the reason we use the paper towel earlier on to pat as much off on this side as we can, and then when we flip on the next side, we'll do the same. And if there's a flap of meat that is in your way, it's these are all connected pieces of muscle, so you may just need to slice it away to make your piece of pork belly even, because for even cooking you need to ensure it has an even surface. So that's why sometimes it's necessary to trim. And the fat actually tells you where to cut, because the fat actually goes within the separations, the natural separations of the meat. And of course you won't waste this. You could use this in a stir fry, you could use this in something else as well. Now we're down to the last layer here. And I see the silver skin. So again, just carefully using my knife, I'm going right under it and making sharp, short cuts, making sure I continue to pull it, so hopefully it could come off in a big piece and you're not making a million little cuts. So we're pretty much done with this piece, and I'm going to continue with this other piece I have here. Clean this up really nice, because this is what we're going to use coming up in Chef'd Up.
Hall, we've reimagined shopping. From chef-prepared meals, ready to enjoy, to the freshest produce and all your grocery essentials. Every visit is designed with the customer's experience in mind, all while getting double points every single day. Food Hall, grocery made greater. Visit us today at Yarko Plaza.
Lotus brings you quality ingredients to help your culinary adventures. Lotus all-purpose flour for all your baking needs. Lotus baker's flour for breads, pizzas, roti and paos. Lotus cake flour for lighter cakes, muffins, biscuits and pastries. Lotus whole wheat flour for the health conscious wanting more fiber. Lotus cassava and wheat flour, an exceptional blend of natural cassava and wheat flour, adding a mild flavor to your baked goods. Create your good food moments today. Lotus, the confidence to create.
Alright, so for this chef top, we are going to make a noodle bowl. So we have some pork belly here that we butchered before. That is going to go poaching. So before anything else, we have our water, which is already hot. And to that, we're going to add some flavor. So in we go with some Caribbean flavors, star anise, and some pink salt. Added to that, we're going to add some whole garlic and some ginger. So 3 cloves of whole garlic, tablespoon of ginger. The star anise, we are going to go with 3. And I know you're wondering, like, we're doing fried pork, so why am I going with water? This method ensures that the skin actually gets very nice and crisp and the meat itself is succulent. So some pink Himalayan salt from Caribbean flavors, and that's all we need. So this water is simmering already, so right in goes the pork belly. And this will poach for about 7 minutes, or until it cooks all the way through. All right, so we're going to check on this pork that has been poaching, and it is good to go. So I'm going to turn this off, and this is going to reserve. I'm going to remove it from the pot, dry it, and reserve that to cook later on for the deep fry. Right now, I'm going to prepare some scallions, because we have some veg to prepare as well. And we're just going to do some nice scallion rounds, which is going to add some freshness at the end of that dish. And we'll save this for later on. Now we're going to saute some veg. So we're going to grab a new pan. In goes a splash of sesame oil. We're going to let this heat up for 1 to 2 minutes. While that is happening, we could also season our noodles. So these are bean thread noodles, and this is dressed with sesame oil to get that nutty aroma. Some sesame seeds. Just a pinch of scallion rounds. Some fresh garlic, fresh ginger, and a splash of soy sauce. So this ensures that every layer of this meal has flavor. The noodles themselves, the vegetables we're just about to saute, and of course the pork. Now that this pan is nice and hot, you can go ahead with our aromatics. We'll go with ginger first, followed by garlic. And we want to bring out those flavors. Next goes the black mushrooms. And these have a lot of moisture. So you're going to let these sit for a while and let them spring their own moisture as well. Right now these mushrooms are looking like where I want them to be. So in goes the choy sum. And followed immediately by a splash of soy sauce. We just want to toss this because we just want to keep these through, and these are going to come off the fire in less than 1 minute. So I'm using choy sum today, but you could use baby bok choy or even pak choy that we find in most groceries around the country, including Food Hall. And this is just about done, so it's time to turn it off and set it aside. So after the porks were poached and reserved, we deep fry them, and this is the last one coming out, and these look so good. So you know what? It's time to plate, turn this off, and let's go. So I'm gonna cut these down to size, nice bite-sized pieces. And hear that crunch now. If that doesn't sound like heaven, I don't know what is. We'll start off with a nice plate here with some noodles. And these have been dressed with garlic, ginger, soy, sesame. So you want to build some height. You know, just get another dimension on your plate. Next, we'll go with some vegetables. So we have some black mushrooms here. And we have a nice contrasting color coming up with the choy sum. And it's a nice balanced meal with all these umami flavors going and the ginger, the garlic, the sesame, and everything like that. This looks like a very healthy plate. But here comes the star of the show, which is this fried pork. I don't know about you, fried pork, I want a double serving. So we're making it healthy. Finish this off with some garnish and some sesame seeds. And what more you want than that? So today we did pork two ways. We got creative with the geera pork stuffed fried bake. Then we mixed things up a little bit with the crispy fried pork on the better noodles and vegetables. So the next time you're having a family lime or get together, give it a try. So until next time, this is Khary's Kitchen. I'm excited all day because really this is a dream come true. I've wanted a cooking show for a long time since I started working at TTT, and now almost 7 years later, it is coming to fruition. It is here now. So I'm really excited. This episode in particular, we're doing is about pork. I am a pork mouth. I don't know who knows me, but people know I'm a pork mouth, and I'm very excited about this episode.
Khary's Kitchen, powered by Food Hall, Grocery Made Greater, Ibis, a tradition of excellence, Caribbean flavors. In the heart of every kitchen, Lotus, the confidence to create, Correga Garden Supplies, Good and Natural, Indie, Spice Up Your Life, distributed by Edward B.B. Harry, Champion, Always a Winner, distributed by Edward B.B. Harry, Lion, the power behind our great taste traditions, Excellence Stores Limited, Live, Create, Do.
The winning numbers in the National Lottery online draws for Wednesday, 8th October 2025 at 10:30 a.m. Playway, the number 16, Jamet. Playway Jackpot, the numbers 20, 8, 24, 27 and 1 in any order. Pick 2, the numbers 3 and 12 in that order, Mega Ball called. Pick 4, the numbers 5, 6, 4 and 5 in that order. At 1 p.m., Playway, the number 13, Quapple. Playway Jackpot, the number 7, 8, 15, 35 and 19 in any order. Pick 2, the numbers 34 and 18 in that order. Pick 4, the numbers 4, 4, 8 and 5 in that order. At 4 p.m., Playway, the number 11, Kobo. Playway Jackpot, the numbers 4, 17, 3, 35 and 1 in any order. Pick 2, the numbers 17 and 22 in that order, Mega Ball called. Pick 4, the numbers 9, 1, 0 and 4 in that order. And at 7 p.m., Playway, the number 30, House Cat, Mega Ball called. Playway Jackpot, the numbers 36, 35, 19, 9 and 8 in any order. Pick 2, the numbers 27 and 33 in that order. Pick 4, the numbers 5, 6, 5 and 9 in that order. Cashpot, the numbers 3, 19, 6, 10 and 8 in any order, and the multiplier is 3.
As you'll see, the ITCZ is fully modulated in the Southern Atlantic. Taking a closer look at home, we will experience those partly cloudy skies with a few showers.
TDT News, first at 6 p.m.
TTT, the heartbeat of local content. Not just content, connection. TTT